You'll ruin our reputation. That's what my own sister said to me. Not in private. Not gently. She said it across the dinner table, in front of my parents, like I was some kind of risk they needed to manage. The room went quiet after that. My father stared at his plate. My mother gave me that tight smile, the one that means, please don't make this worse. I felt my chest burn. Ruin their reputation? All I had done was quit a stable corporate job to start my own small design business. I wasn't partying. I wasn't getting into trouble. I was chasing something I believed in. But to them, it was embarrassing. Risky. Unstable. That night, I drove home with her words echoing in my head. You'll ruin our reputation. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. But something inside me shifted. Because they weren't just doubting my career. They were doubting me. And they were about to learn exactly who I was. My family cared about one thing more than anything else, how we looked to other people. My father was well known in our community. My sister worked at a respected law firm. Every holiday photo was perfectly staged. Every social event carefully attended. And then there was me. The creative one. The dreamer. The one who left a safe marketing job to build a small online brand from scratch. At first, they acted supportive. Smiles. Polite nods. But behind closed doors, it was different. Do you really think that's stable? What will people say? You're throwing away your degree. Every comment felt small on its own. But together? They built a wall between us. My sister was the worst. She'd send me job listings just in case. She'd compare my uncertain income to her steady salary. And every time we were at a family gathering, she'd casually mention her promotions. I started noticing something painful. They introduced her with pride. They introduced me with explanations. And slowly, I stopped talking about my work at all. The breaking point came at my cousin's engagement party. It was one of those fancy events where everyone dresses up and pretends life is perfect. An older family friend asked me, "So, what are you doing these days?" Before I could answer, my sister laughed lightly and said, "Oh, she's experimenting with some online thing. We're hoping she figures it out soon." We're hoping. Like I was a project. People smiled politely. I felt my face heat up. Later that night, in the kitchen, I confronted her. "Why do you always talk about my life like it's a problem?" She crossed her arms. "Because it affects all of us. If you fail publicly, it reflects on our family. You'll ruin our reputation." There it was again. I stared at her. Not angry. Not yelling. Just, done. That was the moment I realized something painful. They didn't believe I could succeed. And they were more afraid of embarrassment than they were hopeful for my happiness. That hurt more than anything. That night, I made a promise to myself. Not to prove them wrong. But to prove myself right. I stopped seeking their approval. I stopped explaining my plans. I stopped updating them on my progress. Instead, I worked. Long nights. Early mornings. Learning, failing, adjusting. There were days I wanted to quit. Days I stared at my bank account and felt panic rising. And on those days, I'd hear her voice again. You'll ruin our reputation. Instead of breaking me, it fueled me. I studied harder. Improved my services. Reached out to better clients. Took risks that scared me. I stopped trying to look impressive. I focused on becoming undeniable. And slowly, things started to shift. It happened quietly. No applause. No dramatic music. A mid-sized company reached out after seeing my online portfolio. They wanted a full rebrand. It was the biggest contract I had ever seen. I reread the email 5 times to make sure it was real. When they signed the agreement, I sat on my couch in silence. Not crying. Not screaming. Just breathing. Because for the first time I felt stable. Confident. Validated. Over the next few months, that one project led to referrals. Then more contracts. Then steady income that surpassed my old salary. I didn't post about it online. I didn't announce it at family dinners. I just kept building. And the more I grew, the less I cared about their approval. That was the real victory. But the biggest twist? They found out anyway. It started with my father. A colleague of his mentioned my company during a meeting. Apparently, my work had been featured in an industry blog. He came home confused. "Is this you?" he asked, holding up his phone. I nodded. Calmly. He looked surprised. Almost impressed. Within days, the news spread through our extended family. My inbox filled with congratulations, from people who had once looked at me with quiet doubt. Then came the moment I'll never forget. Another family event. Same type of crowd. Same polite smiles. Someone asked my sister, "Isn't your sibling the founder of that design company everyone's talking about?" She froze. Just for a second. Then she smiled. "Yes. She's doing very well." No laughter. No experimenting. Just respect. And I didn't gloat. I just stood there, steady, finally introduced without explanation. A week later, my sister asked to meet for coffee. She looked different. Less confident. More thoughtful. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. I was scared. I didn't want people judging us. I studied her face. She wasn't cruel. She was afraid. Afraid of failure. Afraid of losing control. Afraid of being judged by the same people she tried so hard to impress. "I was never trying to embarrass you," I said quietly. "I just wanted to build something that felt like mine." She nodded. And for the first time, she asked me real questions about my work. Not to criticize. But to understand. That conversation didn't erase the past. But it shifted something. Because now, she saw me. Not as a risk. But as someone who took one. Here's what I learned. Reputation built on fear is fragile. My family cared so much about what others thought that they almost pushed me away. But real respect doesn't come from playing safe. It comes from standing firm, even when people doubt you. I could have given up. I could have taken another safe job just to make them comfortable. But then I would have resented them. And myself. Instead, I stayed quiet. I worked. I let results speak. And when the truth came out, it didn't just change how they saw me. It changed how I saw myself. I wasn't the embarrassment. I was the risk taker. The builder. The proof that safe isn't always strong. Today, my relationship with my family is calmer. Healthier. They don't question my choices anymore. But even if they did, it wouldn't shake me the same way. Because the real win wasn't the money. Or the recognition. Or the way people now introduce me with pride. The real win was this. I stopped needing their approval to feel worthy. And once I did that, their words lost power over me. If someone in your life says you'll ruin their reputation by chasing your dream, ask yourself this. Are you living for their comfort? Or your own truth? Because sometimes, the biggest comeback isn't loud. It's quiet. It's steady. And it leaves everyone speechless, without you ever raising your voice.